Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dorian Show. If you guys are listening to this on audio, I'm out here today with my friend Jesse. We're fishing in Huntington Beach.
Thanks for coming,
dude.
Oh, it's going great. It's going great. Thanks for coming with me, Dorian. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a nice day today. When was the last time you went fishing?
I went fishing a couple weeks ago. I took my daughter out over here to the edge of the pier, and it was pretty windy.
Okay.
So this is nice and light. Not a lot of surge.
Yeah.
You know, this should be a good day. I got a good feeling about this one.
Did you catch anything last time you were here?
Last time we did not. A lot of surge. The cheese kept going off the hook.
Right.
Yeah, and it was just one of those days where it's just super, super blustery. Yeah, your pole's actually rocking around to the side right now a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When is it a good time to yank it up?
You know, it's hard because you got the sea wolf right there. See, it's almost it's almost falling over. It's hard to say because that one's a little stiffer pole. This one over here is kind of a lighter pole, so you can see when they're biting. That one, if you got a little smelt on there, might be hard to tell.
Doesn't
oh, there it goes.
I don't know.
Not convinced yet, though.
But yeah, you don't ever take the fishes with you when you catch them?
No, I don't. You can fish off the pier without a license, and you could eat the smelt, but your pole's rocking, dude. It just went doing 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 doing. You might look, check it out. Check out the tip.
But yeah, dude. How often do you take your daughter out here?
So, you know, I try to kind of like augment this between the trampoline park, you know, other kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah, we had that trampoline park pass for a minute, so that thing was pretty good because you got on those all those trampolines, you like leapfrog it.
Yeah.
And it's a good workout too. It's good cardio.
Not to scare you, but like I feel like trampoline parks are pretty dangerous.
That's what everybody says. You know,
you'll blow your hamstrings or your knees. Like
wow.
I knew a girl when I was in high school. Like we went to one of those and she like blew her knees.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I didn't even think about it from that angle. I thought like maybe you like hit somebody with your head or something, but
no, it's the legs.
Like actual anatomical injuries to your legs.
Yeah.
Dang.
But,
well then,
I mean, she's young. She's not gonna. Her bones are still soft, as they say. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been going for years now, and no major injuries so far.
Okay.
So,
I think it's because she's still so little, but like when you put a lot of force on jumping.
Oh, I jump with her.
Oh yeah, so you're probably more at risk than.
Yeah.
She is.
Oh, 100%.
Because she's not generating that much force at this age, but when she's like in high school, it might be a.
Yeah, the amount of leverage that's on my bones like is ridiculous. I mean, anything that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me.
Yeah, but you feel fine every time you go. Like it's.
Yeah. I feel pretty good, man.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like it, and plus it's like a high energy thing. You know, you can just raise the energy of hanging out like just instantly. You know, because maybe she's like droopy or like into YouTube or something like that. You just bring the energy up right away with a trampoline experience.
That's true. Dude, that's like a secret only like a father would know.
It's like father dates. Yeah, you got to think about it like in the same way almost sometimes. Like, you know, what's going to be exciting, what's going to be something that's going to raise up the energy. Like, you got to think about those things. What's going to be an experience at this moment?
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart because no matter like how low she's feeling, she'll probably have fun. Couple jumps in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Same with me. Sometimes I'm feeling low.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's in a mall too, so it's like a double. You can get ice cream. You can hit the vending machine.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, it's not a bad idea.
It's
single dad tricks.
Are you like more like the fun dad, or are you like the stern dad? You get her weekly, so it's.
Yeah, I'm like a half the time dad because you know I get her half the time, so I'd say that like I used to be more stern about stuff, because what I used to know about like raising kids was more constructivist in like methodology. So it was that when I was a teacher before, you couldn't tell a kid like, oh, you did it, yay. You had to walk by them, and you would say, you did it, and you just walk by, because if you were giving an extrinsic reward in some way, you were then somehow displacing their their internal reward system.
Yeah.
So when I raised my first daughter, I really had that really ingrained.
Okay.
So I think maybe like I was fun, but also like developmentally like more like stern or a little maybe colder.
Yeah.
And then I was doing behaviorism then when I was raising my second daughter, which is more like, external rewards for everything. Everything's got an external reward.
Yeah.
So sometimes I went like more over the top.
Okay.
But that's just because like I'm somewhat like neurospicy myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just kind of like, I had to like read books on like how to stand and like, how to like, I'm still learning, man. Like every social encounter is like a mystery to me.
That's good. You're reading a lot of books about parenting that most people don't. Are you worried? Are you worried that like because it's all like positive reinforcements, that without that you don't, how is she gonna do things?
Like without those reinforcements?
Yeah, like let's say like when she's an adult and there's like harder stuff like a test or a thesis she needs to write and
Yeah, I'm intensely worried about that. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
like you need that inner drive on its own. I don't know anything about parenting, but like that's something
I think you hit it on the head though. That's exactly right. You're kind of everything about parenting. When you first become a parent, the world all of a sudden becomes like really scary.
Yeah.
I used to be like an environmental studies major, and before I went into history and stuff and became a teacher, but and I used to think about the planet, the globe, all that kind of stuff, and then when you become a parent, like all of a sudden, boom, all that stuff changes, and you become really myopic in some ways. Like all of a sudden, like, oh, I will strangle every single penguin if I can just send one kid to college. Like you just like you start to think of things a little bit differently.
Right, your world gets a lot smaller.
A lot smaller and a lot scarier. Like you always think about like what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I can imagine that, dude.
Yeah. So, but it's just a series of mistakes. I mean, it's pretty much not to get too like existential about it.
Sure. I mean, but your daughter, I'm sure, is turning out fine, right? Would you say she's?
Yeah. I try to mitigate like any kind of like ED, like emotional disturbance. Like, because that's pretty much like, I can't really. Those are the things that you try to like mitigate as a parent. You don't want your kid to be like in that ballpark.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's hard to say because they're just their own people.
Did she have a phone? You give her a smartphone?
Yeah, my ex-wife got her a phone. I let her use it too.
Yeah. Is she on like TikTok and Instagram and all that scary stuff?
Not really. No, just YouTube Shorts. Yeah.
Okay.
Not TikTok or Instagram. Why do you say scary? Like, do you think it's a
TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah. Do you think those are scary platforms for kids?
I think they are for kids. Yeah.
Really?
Well, just knowing like what I follow, like I don't want. You know what I'm saying? I follow like a lot of Instagram models, but they're like it's just basically advertisement for their porn sites.
Really?
Yeah, because of OnlyFans, so like a lot of
lot
of like models that are Instagram models are just showing. They're like, it's the advertisers like, oh, come follow me for like the real stuff. And I mean, I don't have an OnlyFans or anything like that, but I'm like, it's not like I'm getting exposed to something different than some other user out there.
I suppose so.
You know what I mean? Like the last thing I want to be like is like my 9-year-old daughter like seeing like these women. And
like these guys are getting famous through that.
This is like and then like there's just like a whole other thing. Like first of all, there's like so many layers. Like I don't want them to see like the sexual stuff, obviously, but like also like the self-image stuff.
Yeah, that's all connected.
And you're just connected to the whole world. Like I don't know, like if there are like perverts out there trying to like message your kids and shit.
That's a reality. Yeah, I guess I was like, when you were talking about it, my head was more like, they're buying, selling kidneys on the internet or something. But I could see
Well,
that being
that
like
too.
a,
They could kidnap your kid and sell their kidneys. But
yeah, is that like the dark web? Is that like a thing?
oh, I don't know about anything here harvesting people, but like,
Oh, they got a little ray. They got it on the line.
oh,
This guy's
nice.
pulling up a little ray over there.
Is that a ray?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Huh. Oh yeah,
That's cool.
that's cool, dude.
I wonder how he's going to get the hook out of that without getting a stinger in the arm.
Do all rays stings? Only the stingrays, right? There's
I
other
think
rays.
that one does. I think that one's got a stinger. Yeah, if you know
Okay.
that type.
Hold it down.
Yeah, these guys are all looking at it now. Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah. But yeah, like the social media. Well, that's weird that your daughter's not on. How does she like communicate with her friends? Because that's what I think the biggest draw of like a. That's not true. Like when I had but then I had Instagram when I was older, so I didn't use it as like a social
Right.
connection. I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 40 exactly.
You're 40, so I'm 36, but we're close enough. Where like back in the days, like our social thing was like instant message,
Right, like AOL Instant Messenger.
right? And then like,
Yeah.
and then like G-Chat or whatever. And but I think like kids right now connect through Instagram and like Facebook Messenger because they have all that stuff built in. So
That's certainly true for like her older sister. That she does Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a luddite with some of that.
yeah,
As far as like the Instagram and things like that. But she pretty much just does Messenger with her friends, and like
Okay.
I hook her up with playdates
okay,
because it's not like we don't live in that sort of like you ride your bike to your friend's house, kind of like knock on their door sort of
Right.
world. It seems like anymore. So I have to like
yeah,
message the moms or message the dads and
Sure.
set up the sort of where they're going to be.
dude, you got a pretty sweet kid, dude. She's like a super chill and lets you kind of take the lead on that.
Thanks, man. Well, yeah, I mean, it's either that or she's going to be hanging out, doing something else. So
Yeah, because that's what I was afraid of, like the Instagram thing, like just and then like the bullying is like another level for kids these days.
yeah, that's true.
Like-
That's a good point. I think they're pretty smart though. I feel like that
Mhm.
the kids now, especially like her older sister, she's pretty versed on like what bullying is, what people that are older on Instagram sound like when they text,
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah,
And the kids that I talk to, when cause I'm a teacher as well. Like, the kids that I talk to are, they seem like they're pretty well versed, and they're older kids.
Okay.
They seem like they know what they're
Yeah.
talking about.
that's good. Well, I think that's also the fear of being from a different generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the kids would adapt and they'll be fine.
it'll be integrated into everything. I mean,
Yeah,
the stuff now that that's coming out is going to be. It's going to be even beyond them, like the artificial intelligence stuff that's integrated into our phones. All that
Yeah.
stuff is going to be that's even going to be the stuff for the next generation
yeah,
that these guys are not even going to know how to handle.
yeah. What if they don't have a friend? What if like their AI just becomes like their best friend?
I mean,
Because you could train the AI to be like that knows you like more intimately than you know yourself at some point.
you'd think so, but like I've had some like deep chats, like after like a couple glasses of wine and like talking to ChatGPT, and it's a real thing. Like you're like level
Yeah.
with me, like
But
tell me.
they have like guardrails up. Like they will.
It doesn't get that close. Yeah, it really
Okay.
doesn't. I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
guardrail thing or if it's just literally the programming. Like it just doesn't
Well, I
get that
think
close.
because they have so much information, some information they feel like it's unsafe, or they'll be like, "Oh, that's racist to say," or like, legally, I probably shouldn't give you financial advice." But I feel like at some point, because if all these big ones like ChatGPT or even Google have like these huge AIs with these guardrails, like no one really wants those. So at some point, I think someone will give you like one that's kind of like they won't have a filter, and they're kind of just like built off of like your
it's something that's
personality.
a little bit like it's built literally off your personality, like it's catered to you.
Yeah, well, if you train it enough, right? If you're talking to this AI every day. I don't know anything about anything, by the way, so that's
I
just
I mean, you seem pretty confident about it, man.
yeah, that's what I do most of my life. I just speak with confidence, you know?
That'll get you through most things.
Yeah.
I feel like that's most of it too, and then it's like a gut feeling,
Yeah.
and then you kind of go with that plus the confidence, and you
Yeah,
can
but
get
I
through
mean,
most things.
AI is. I'm kind of confident in this, but
Uh-huh.
AI is just they're just learning from all the information available in the web. But if you have your own personal assistant or AI, and all they're doing is talking to you, they probably will get to know you pretty well. Especially
Ye-
because when you're talking to and when you're doing search, you're not editing yourself. You're not worried about an AI's feelings. You know what I mean? Like you're basically telling the truth to
Sure. Well,
to search.
you can get like the team version now that doesn't train on your data, and you can turn the data
Okay.
off on. You can toggle it on and off.
But
On the,
wouldn't you want? I mean, if this was like I'm not talking like a workspace, but like a legitimate like assistant or
like a legit assistant. I mean, I use it.
or
I use it all the time.
or a confidant. You know what I mean? Like then,
I use it as that too.
but you would want it to give them train off of who you are, right? So
I-
they could give you better.
I think it's a great thing. I think especially for the kids that I work with in special education. I mean, I use
Yeah.
it all the time to break things down, use analogical thinking.
Yeah.
You know, say I'm a pirate, you know, and I'm coming into port here, and I don't know anything about what this place is all about, and I had ChatGPT, and I'd say like, well, you know, all I know is what's on shipboard. How is this going to function? And then the ChatGPT will break it all down for you. Be like, oh, this is like the quartermaster. This is like the
Yeah.
ship's captain. This is like
Sure.
it'll use analogical thinking to break anything down for you, and that's huge.
Nice.
That's a huge, powerful tool.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's I don't know how it's going to change like the search system, like Google search and stuff like that. Because Google search, you kind of need to go like sit through like the information on your own, whereas ChatGPT will give you a direct answer for certain things.
That's true. Yeah, it'll be a mistake sometimes.
Yeah, but like who would know if you?
Yeah, you never want to use it for things you don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's the people in our generation are probably better off with it.
Yeah.
Because we know that. I think some of the younger generation they tend to just take it all as fact,
Right.
because they're still learning all those facts.
Yeah.
So that can be problematic for them. There'll be probably a generation of kids that are kind of a little bit lost.
Yeah.
But it'll gain traction pretty quick, and it'll become more like a
Wikipedia is
browser.
not needed anymore.
You don't think so? Do you mean
You could just ChatGPT like that specific thing.
I guess so, but then your sources, you're not going to get sourced at the bottom. So how do you know it's accurate?
I don't look at sources on Wikipedia. Do you?
You don't check that?
No.
I guess not often, unless I'm citing it or something.
I
So
mean, you're not supposed to cite off Wikipedia anyways, but
but
that's a good way to look for sources. Yeah.
yeah, you don't cite off Wikipedia?
No.
No, I don't. I mean, I just
Because Wikipedia is like a secondary and sometimes tertiary source.
Oh, you only use primary sources?
Isn't that what you're supposed to do when
I mean, or peer-reviewed articles, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, it depends. I don't know what you're writing.
Even when I was doing like in grad school, I had to do peer review, and we had to do like a lit review. I don't think you can't cite someone citing someone else.
You can't. So if you're well, they have citations in there where they're citing.
So you have to like go all the way back. And
what did you get your master's in? What was your?
I did social work and then MBA, master's in business. Well, the business I didn't have to do crazy writing like that. But like social work, well, even undergrad I did, but.
So that was so your MBA. Do you feel like that was something that helped connect you to like a business community, or like get you more?
It's a waste of money.
It's so
the only thing that it connected me to was like I made a friend there, and then he invited me to join this men's basketball league.
Dope.
But that was like a $45,000 basketball league, I guess, with my tuition paid. But we don't even play anymore because of the pandemic, and a lot of the guys dropped off. But it was one of those, like getting the MBA was like one of those things that I knew would be eating at me because I always wanted one. But it doesn't really, it's so generalized, and I could probably learn things better on my own. Like honestly.
It's hard to say. I mean, I know some people that have the MBA. I just got a master's, but I mean, I spent
In education?
even more. Yeah, master's education. Yeah.
But you're applying that like an MBA is basically made for like managers. You just learn a little bit of everything about business. It's not.
I mean, am I applying it though? I don't. I mean, I'm still. It's really just a credential.
Okay.
Yeah,
but you are. I guess you are. I mean, it got you a job. The MBA doesn't really get you jobs unless you go to like a top 10 school, or
Gotcha.
if you're already in that line of work, then maybe. Like if you're a banker and you're just like a entry level and you have an MBA, maybe your boss will promote you. But other than that, it doesn't.
It's all still applied.
Yeah, I just wanted one. I feel like most degrees are kind of like that. They're kind of useless, actually. Now that I'm talking more about it.
But you have a legitimately decent job.
Yeah, but you don't really need to have a degree. Like they have to train you in the field.
But I mean, I guess
for any job, right? Like
yeah,
you can't just walk into a bank with a business degree and you're like, I got this.
Right.
They're still gonna train you. What good is really like the degree? I guess
I don't know anybody that has the MBA though that doesn't have a decent job. Like everybody, they seem like they've landed somewhere.
Job, though. I just had my MBA was just.
Oh, you literally got it as like an icing thing.
What do you mean?
I like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So okay, well I guess that's kind of where my MED is then too. That's sort of where that's at. Because I mean, I already had the credential. It was just extra.
Yeah.
But
you could become you could do like admin work, right?
I got to get an admin credential.
Really?
Yep. That's just a separate test.
Oh, so you don't need to take classes. You just need to take the test.
I think right now it's free. I think you can take the admin test right now for free.
Okay, then that's good. If it's just test taking, that's better than doing 2 years and thousands of dollars for something that you may or may not use.
That's pretty much where it's at. I mean, that's most of the teaching stuff is just a lot of tests. I mean, I took like 9 tests.
Okay, so
the last couple of years.
Speaking of which, education and stuff, are you going to push your daughter to go to college?
I'm going to push her into something, college or trade school.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy with either one.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that either one of those two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my parents, my family. My parents aren't from here; they're from Vietnam. But like in our like culture, I guess like college was like a really big deal. And I feel like my generation really got like sold like a bill of lies.
Oh, as far as the college.
Yeah, because like the longer college degrees are worth less and less because more and more as more people have them, it's just a function of like supply and demand.
And then you're paying off all those student loans.
Yeah, it's more expensive and it's worth less. But it's however it's still unfair because it still gives you an edge. But like now you need a college degree to become like a secretary or whatever.
Yeah, it makes you more flexible.
No sense. Whereas like a secretary before, you could just have like high school or not even a high school degree. But like now, because so many people have a college degree, that they're kind of extending that down towards like more like entry level work, you know?
Right. Yeah, the bachelor's has become what the master's was, and the master's has become what the bachelor's was, and doctorates become
Yeah.
Kind of each thing's tiered down to what a bachelor's is what a high school diploma.
Yeah. And it's just I don't know. And honestly, college was kind of easy, and I don't think they're as rigorous as they used to be. And also, I was in like the social sciences. I wasn't in a hard science, so I can't speak to those majors. But you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, no, I get it. I got into law school actually a few years ago. I went into that for a little while, and it wasn't intensely tough. It was just time consuming.
Right.
You know, some
but
of those
with
things.
ChatGPT, do you really need to?
That's a good point.
Remember cases, because that's what law school is, right? You just memorize all the big cases, and you could be like citing them.
Yeah, you want to. Well, you reference them, but you have to learn how to read them, which I think that was the trickiest part, was just learning how to read case law, because you look at these case laws and then you have to break down, because they'll just throw a bunch at you, and they'll just say like, well, what does this mean? Right. And you have to sit there and decode it like it's an instruction manual.
Damn.
And they're kind of complex in that way. Yeah. I mean, it's fun.
Why'd you stop? How far did you get into it?
It's expensive. Well, I had a full ride, not a full ride, but mostly full ride scholarship. So it was only going to be like $60K or so, for the all four. I broke it up into 4 years so I could do it in 4, and but then the pandemic hit, and my daughter, she got thrown homeschool. So I'm waking up, I'm homeschooling her, then I'm trying to take law school classes and trying to read all this case law in the morning while she's on her Zoom homeschool. And then eventually I just there's no way I'm going to be able to maintain A's to be able to keep this scholarship, so it's going to end up costing $200K. I'm going to get a $60 to $80K job in law right out of school after this, and I'm going to be upside down.
How far were you into it?
Just the first year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think California might be one of the very few states where you could take the bar without going to law school.
You can. Yeah, you can take the bar without going to law school, but your chances are not very good.
Right.
And I think you also have to have like a sign off, like somebody has to sign you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how that process works.
Probably got to work in the mailroom at a law firm or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's pretty much like most people are just like, yeah, just go to law school. Yeah, but it wasn't insanely hard. Just it was kind of okay. Just maybe I liked teaching more, so I went back and did that.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, you could always pick it up later. Yeah. Well, I'm guessing law school isn't hard, but the bar is hard. Because I've met a couple people that have a law degree, but they haven't passed the bar.
That's a good point.
That's kind of sad.
It is, because you spent all that money, and then all of a sudden you didn't pass the bar, so all that's for nothing. Or say you spent all that money, and maybe you were a knucklehead kid, and you got in trouble too much, and they're like, nope.
The bar just lets you. The bar lets you go to trial, or what's that? Because I know people that do law work that are an attorney technically, but they haven't passed the bar. I went on a date with this girl many years ago. And
tell me about your law date.
Well, I only met her a couple of times, and she said she works with immigration law, and she's an attorney, but she didn't pass the bar, so I don't know what that means.
That means she can't practice law.
Then she's just doing paperwork then, basically?
I mean, you're not supposed to practice law if you haven't passed the bar. You can't say you're a lawyer.
Practicing, but I don't know which.
That's an interesting point. I mean,
but she has the skills to do a lot of the stuff, but she's just not giving law advice, I guess. I don't know.
She seemed like she was enjoying it.
I only went on a date with her twice.
Do you feel like when you get matched up online and stuff like that, do you get matched up with a certain kind of girl? I feel like I get mostly engineers and
I don't get matches anymore.
Stuff like that.
I haven't gotten matches in a while.
Well, you have to throw it out. You just have to go through a whole bunch of them, and then you get a match, right?
Yeah, I just don't get them anymore.
The match back kind of thing.
No one matches me anymore, and I don't know how much of it is. I kind of know what it is. I'm getting older, but I haven't raised the age limit on my my preferences. I mean, it's not insane. It's not insane. I'm not saying my range is 18 to 22. That's crazy.
Right.
But I think my limit is at 32 right now, and I'm 36.
Okay.
Whereas when I was and even though I think people say women would date older men, I don't think they really want to date a much older guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's a lot of heartbreak. I mean, it's
But that's one reason why I'm not getting matches. The other thing is I think it's because I live in West Hollywood, and I set my radius to be 10 miles, which is not that small a radius. But then I think a lot of people in West Hollywood are looking for something else than, you know what I mean? Like they might be looking for like a more affluent man, or this is all like made up. I don't understand.
Yeah, this seems like I think you're, because I was getting a very similar experience, and then I've heard like from a friend of ours the other day. You know,
Yeah.
he's having a similar experience, and so I feel like that seems like that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be I think it's a mixture of all of that, because I've had like success doing online dating, and by success I mean like going on dates. But yeah, like in my 20s, it's kind
Right.
of crazy that I've been on the apps for like 10 years on and off. But like in my 20s, I was going on like a lot of dates. But that's
Yeah,
'cause-
same here.
But then I always also feel like because when I was younger, like I think women were more attracted to like
The potential of
the potential, and also like my job. I typically don't talk about my job because I don't want people to find me. But then if anyone's listening to this, I'm gonna drop this. But
you're gonna hear it.
I'm a children's social worker. So when I was younger, I noticed a lot of women are like, "Oh, that's like he's the guy with a heart." But like now, like women like our age, my age, they're probably a little bit more jaded. Like they dated for a couple times. They're like, "Dude, money makes the world go round."
Yeah. Well,
And all of
mean,
a sudden, like
yeah.
that job that people are like, "Oh, he has a good heart," so like he's not making money. I'm
Yeah.
projecting this out there, but I'm
No,
thinking
you're not wrong. I mean, it's a lot of it's anxiety, though. I think as people get older, that existential dread turns into
Yeah.
the need to accumulate wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in a highly pro-capitalist time in our history, so
Yeah.
money does make the world go around. And in a sense, you know, you're so, and we have a limited amount of life, so. As you get a little bit older, that all of a sudden becomes a little bit more real. Like, oh, okay, I should have this amount of money right now,
Yeah.
or be getting it within the next 5 years.
Yeah. I also look completely different than when I was in my 20s.
Is that right?
I had hair, no facial hair.
Dude, you're looking good now.
Well, I mean, this is just like old man strength. I mean, I
Feel like
I've-
I build a little more muscle now too.
I'm
yeah.
36, but and throughout my life I look like 5 completely different people.
Hell yeah,
So it's
different lifetimes.
yeah, so like it's, I mean, it could be any of or all of that, but I'm thinking about, I've been wanting to do, I already know, like I feel like part of the reason why even when I was finding dates back in the days online, they were just unsuccessful because there's not a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's no, like, I'm not invested in these people. Like, they could be like a super hot babe, but I'm like, I don't care if I never see you again. Like, I don't know you.
Maybe that was easier back then to kind of.
Well, even now, like I went on one date a couple months ago, and it was just like whatever. Like, like if there's no immediate spark, I was just like, ah.
Yeah, the spark thing is. Oh wow, oh, a dolphin.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 dolphins.
Yeah, they
There it is. There's that spark, man.
in a pod.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, I feel like those moments back then were easier to come by. You know, like you think about it. You know, when your friend used to give you like a song and be like, listen to this song. You know, and you're younger and you heard the song and it's like all of a sudden you put on the headphones and like it just blows your mind. You know, and maybe I can't remember the last time that I had that experience as an adult. You know, I don't know if that's just the fact that, you know, overuse or context or of the brain or something like that, but you know, you feel the spark part. I feel like sometimes that the spark part cannot always be a positive thing.
Really, I think it's a great positive. I actually like miss, in terms of like maybe like meeting someone that you're like just crazy about. I mean, I still
I think that means run. Usually.
Really?
Yeah, I think if you're crazy about somebody, like right away, like that's like a bad sign.
Dude, that's like all my relationships.
Oh, dude, yeah, you definitely get the hell out.
Dude?
Like, yeah, don't do that. Anytime you feel that, you just go the other direction.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't have that with like basically anybody I meet online, because I'm like, they're just a person I don't know anything about. You know, so it. Yeah, yeah. But like so meeting with someone, and I feel like we're, as like an adult, it's harder to meet someone in just your life. I think that's like the best way to probably find a partner is through like school.
Shared, yeah, some
School, or like when you're
experience.
Yeah, share school or at work. I know people are like don't want people dating each other at work, but they say like 40% of couples meet at work. Like, it's just a insane thing that HR says without.
Just to mitigate risk.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's always like people that are creepy or sexual harassment, but like it's
Yeah.
only it's I think like those moments, that's actually where maybe relationships would last, you know, like because you get to know the person before.
Same schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might not like someone before, but like when you get to know them, you develop this, you know.
Sure. Yeah, you've had that shared experience.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch. Workplace is like a bunch of different people thrown together for
Yeah.
shared purpose,
Right.
but maybe you wouldn't normally be hanging out.
Yeah. And you get to know them as a person before you start dating them. Some people, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, I don't. Honestly, I'm no expert. I've dated a couple times since I was married for like 12 years.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So it's not
I've never
something.
been married, so all I do is.
Oh, dude, it's great, man. You got to get married.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I need to. Find
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get married and have kids. Like that.
Dude, I'm sure you can hook that up, dude. We can get. There's a lot. There's.
It's hard to find the right person to.
Oh well, that's a
do
whole
all
different
that.
thing.
Well, that's
yeah.
that's a big scary part, right?
That's
Like when I was in
yeah.
my last relationship, like that's what I think. I tend to think like in the future a lot. So when I'm in a lot of times I'm in a relationship and I cut it short where I think it might catch the other person off guard.
Okay. That what
Like,
might catch the other person off
Like
guard?
it might
What do you mean?
seem like sudden to them
When you're like, I want to marry you and have your
no,
babies.
when I'm like,
Oh.
I think we're not going to work out. Stuff
Oh,
like that.
the opposite of that.
Yeah, the opposite of that. Like
Oh,
my
okay.
relationships aren't very long.
Gotcha. Why do you throw that out there, like expecting that you're still going to have a relationship? Like, hey, this
No,
might
like-
not work out, but like, hey, if you want to still kind of hang out. Like...
No, because I don't want to waste their time and.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
And like
it's
when
better.
when I know, I guess this is, or I feel like I know, I'm like, oh yeah, this is not going to work out for us long term. I just cut bait, which is an insane thing to do because it's not like I'm like getting into relationships all the time. Like I'm very rare that I'm in a relationship, but when I'm in it, it's
Well, same
the way.
here.
But the way I act, it might seem like I'm just. Like I'm just like out here dating like a bunch of women that I'm
It
just,
does
like,
sound like
cutting.
that.
It
Yeah,
does, but
it
it's not. I
definitely
just have like
gives
this.
that.
It might just be like a mental thing where I'm just like, oh, it's not going to work out. I should just probably.
Huh. Is it possible that one man can have the amount of wisdom of that without actually leading that lifestyle? I feel like that's what you have.
I don't. I haven't. My last relationship now has been like 2 years, and I haven't really.
2 years?
2 years ago, I think.
Oh, 2 years ago. Oh, I thought it's been the last 2 years.
Yeah. And then I
Yeah.
haven't dated at all like that time. Online dating, I might have. Yeah, 2 years, dude.
2 years, yeah. Well, that's not unrealistic. I'd say that's probably like where I was at.
Yeah.
You know, my first was like a year and a half or something like that after
Yeah.
I got out of being married. And then I got into one real heavy and it was like, oh, you know, I felt this connection. I was like, wow, we're like so, and that's why I say run. Cause
You
like
met her online?
No, I met her in real life. It was like all that, like, you know, kind of stuff, like the sparks and things like that. And then I realized, oh, that's because this is too powerful. This
Dude, I would love that.
Oh no, it's definitely, you want to go the other direction. You want to run. Yeah, that's definitely not the.
Is that why my relationships haven't worked out?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to contextualize everybody's life.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I don't think you know, if it's like a drug, then you're gonna get immune to that drug, or that drug is gonna be too overpowering. It's a drug for a reason.
Sure.
So,
but it's hard to fall in love with a vegetable.
A vegetable, you don't have to. Yeah, you
like a celery.
A celery.
Yeah,
celery's got a lot of good qualities to it.
Yeah, but I won't keep eating celery.
I think that what you need to do is just spice up that celery. Every once in a while, you put a little bit of ranch on it. You put a little, hot wing sauce on it. And,
that doesn't sound good.
Just the hot wings part.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put some raisins in there too. Yeah. Sometimes,
But yeah, that's. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where I feel like I need to be in circles where I'm having more interactions with women in real life, because I know I can't just bank on online. It's not going to work for me. So yeah, it's actually hard. Like my circles is, number one, I work from home most of the time, and then number two, my office, my job, I'm in like a very specialized unit, so everybody's older than me, and everybody's like married, so there's like no.
Similar to my workplace.
Yeah, so there's no prospects there, and then I do stand up. We're just like a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, that's got to be like. Oh, is it? No, it's the opposite.
Well, there are women too, but it's
yeah.
It's not. I don't know. Like they're not someone I want to be in a relationship with.
But you're like you're on stage. They're
odd. Like this also.
What do you mean?
It's.
I don't know. I mean,
it's different. I'm not. I know this is me projecting because I don't know every single woman that's out here doing stand up in LA, but a lot of it's like. It seems like they're looking for something else, right? They're either looking for like a career in Hollywood and acting, modeling. Some of them just want to be a stand-up, but I'm like,
damn, dude, you're looking for you. I think this paints the picture of the girls. You're like models.
Well, this because we're in Hollywood. We're in West Hollywood, where I live. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for someone that's like, oh yeah, like that's like probably marriage and kids is something that's higher on the priority. Damn. Which I don't think there are many people like that right now in where I live.
Maybe in church. Hollywood. You can find that in church.
I can't. I used to be very religious until even up to my mid-20s.
But
then now I'm
pseudo-religious.
I'm not. I'm agnostic, really.
Oh, okay.
But
well,
then,
that's agnostic is pretty much still religious.
But then I also know how important religion is for someone that's really into it. Then I can't go to like a church and kind of like lie to them about my commitment to the good Lord.
That's the hard part. Yeah, I've ran into that boat too, because I was like, I showed up to churches for a while and be like, like, hey, I kind of buy into this.
There's a bunch of babes here.
But then they're like, okay, we want you all in. I'd be like, well, I mean, I'm willing to go in as far as like I am comfortable with going in. But they're like, that's not necessarily what other people are looking for.
Right.
They want that certainty.
Yeah.
And so then you have to project that certainty to be able to.
Well, a lot of it too is like they want. Obviously, they're looking for like a traditional like the man's head of the household, but also like spiritually, and that's like I can't.
Yeah, you got to project that.
Like I won't be able, like if they're having like a spiritual issue, and I know all the lingo of this because I was heavily in the church, but they feel like. They need a spiritual leader. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not really that important to me.
And that's not necessarily, yeah. And I mean, if you're not feeling that that's your,
but so much of it, like when I was religious, like a lot of it is my life and my social circle, right? It's like go to church. But outside of that, there's what they call a community group, which is kind of like what we do at Boys Night, but you're just hanging out with other Christians and like talking about God and shit. And it's really hard if you're not into God.
Yeah, you got less to talk about.
Yeah. And if someone like is asking you advice or they want your input on religious stuff and you're like, I don't really think it matters anymore.
And you're going to this much broader perspective than maybe they're interested in going.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's hard. I can't go if someone's looking for someone that's serious about their religion. That's not.
Okay, well that's fair. I mean, thank you for answering that specific question because I've been there. I get it. Like
it is a great place. hot women at churches, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it definitely commitment minded in some regards, but
Yeah.
I think that what we're going to experience at this point, I'm just checking our parking, but the I think we're going to experience people that are going to have a lot more sort of life, sort of solidified sort of life experience and stuff like that. So either way, it's just going to kind of be where somebody's at.
Yeah.
But that's why that's all the more reason to get a vasectomy.
You're not worried about it at all? I know, because you were just telling me earlier that you were
tiny. I'm like a tiny bit worried.
Yeah.
But that video that they sent me from Kaiser just totally, completely just obliterated any of my concerns.
You have to watch the video before they let you to look at the snip.
And it did the opposite. It assuaged all my concerns about it. Yeah. It really, like, I'm just completely comfortable with the fact that they're going to take care of me.
What if you want another kid?
Yeah, I don't, I love being a father. Yeah. I think that what I've learned by having 2 kids is that I need to put my energy into the 2 kids that I have.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how much energy that I have.
Okay.
It's I've reinvented myself so many times at this point in my life.
Yeah.
From being like a knucklehead kid to coming back and being a married guy to now coming back again with more school and reinventing myself again. That if I reinvent myself and I start another family, I feel like I'm just putting way too many spoons out there and I don't have enough time for that.
That makes sense. But yeah, I'm not going to get a vasectomy because I need to have kids. And even if I have kids, I'm not going to do that because that sounds scary and terrifying.
Dude, it's like, well, you do it with you don't have cats, but like do it with your pets all the time.
You cut off their balls.
Yeah, that's a different procedure
because they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
I'm sure if you took a poll of all the dogs and cats, probably none of them would be like, yeah, cut off my nuts.
That's what I wonder about. So are pets really actually pets, or are they just like little, like, are they livestock? Right?
They're livestock.
They're livestock at that point.
They're companions.
Because you're kind of like,
what's a pet?
They don't get choice in that whole thing.
Well, livestock they're supposed to produce something, but I guess pets produce like
a joyful feeling.
Yeah. But yeah, because people are like, oh yeah, we so they can't have kids and a bunch of strays and stuff like that. I think that's the main issue. But you could also just watch your dog better.
It's a good point. Well, that's where I'm at with my new cat. I'm like, I've never got a cat that's not spayed before.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking like maybe I just shouldn't get her spayed. People are like, no. Yeah, it's a girl. And they're saying, no, you should do it. You got to do it. You got to, even cat people are like, you got to do it. And those people are like, these are real hardcore people. Yeah. But now that I'm getting a vasectomy, I feel like a little more comfortable about spaying my cat.
Right.
Because I'm like, well, if we're both going to do it.
What do female cats do? I know like male cats, they'll just piss everywhere. They'll just mark.
I don't really know. I mean, she's acting pretty catty, but that's normal. Like, I mean, they just get pregnant. Like, yeah. But I think like
an indoor cat.
I think it might be fair though. Like if I get one, I feel like she can get one.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to feel as bad about it.
I mean, they're pets. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
But they do say, I don't know if this, I mean, it makes sense, but like they say, like when you get a puppy and then you like cut off his balls, like he never really develops properly.
It's going to be, they're going to get a little bulkier.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as rambunctious. With the boys, it's a different thing too, especially. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not
still up in the air about it.
I'm not against it one way or another because.
Well, that's, so you're the opposite. Like I'm really certain about my vasectomy, but I'm uncertain about spaying my cat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you're really uncertain about, you're like completely against the vasectomy
for myself,
for yourself. Yeah. But then spaying your cat, you're kind of like, it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. That's agree to disagree.
Just do it. I mean, your cat's not going to leave you.
No.
Your cat's not going to look at you and be like, well, you betrayed me.
That's what I'm worried about, actually.
Why would you do this?
I am worried about that.
I thought you loved me.
Yeah, I do. I love this cat. It's it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Cat
just
is
look
too
it up.
good.
ChatGPT. Just be like, what happens if you don't spay your lady cat?
Well,
They'll just
ChatGPT
period everywhere.
sometimes. Usually they reabsorb it, but yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it can happen.
Reabsorb it, like they eat it.
It just like the lining goes back in with cats most of the
Oh,
time.
really?
Apparently, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But it's a white cat, so
I know it's a pretty sweet cat. If I wasn't allergic, I'd be like, that's a nice cat.
dude, I'm telling you, it.
How are we doing on time?
We're doing okay. We got about a half hour until we gotta move the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know that we got anything. I don't see any action on the line here today.
But we have to cut that line at some point if we can't save it.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a loss. This one over here, I haven't seen anything on this end. I think the only thing I've seen the same ray or at least two different rays being caught over here, but no fish today. So it looks like everybody's pulling up just stingrays today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we can end it here. Did you have fun doing this pod? Pretty nice, right?
It was a blast, dude. Yeah, thank you.
You'll do this again.
I will. I feel much more comfortable now that we got it. And there's what else do I have to talk about? I've already talked about like
just
so much.
Just boys hanging out, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like there's nothing else to reveal. Like, like anything else that at this point would just be, we've got it all out there. So yeah, all my uncertainty about it.
All right, see, right on cue, the battery just died on my camera. All right, that was fun, man.
Thanks, brother.